Leading Virginia Senate Democrat deals major setback for Washington. Richmond, Virginia. AP. A leading Democratic Virginia legislator said Monday that proposed legislation to help pave the way for the NBA's Washington Wizards and NHL's Washington Capitals to relocate to Northern Virginia is dead, as far as she's concerned. Senator L. Louise Lucas, who holds great sway in the General Assembly as chair of the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee, first said over the weekend on social media that legislation underpinning the deal was not ready for prime time and would not receive a hearing in her committee. The decision effectively killed the Senate version of the legislation because of a procedural deadline this week, though another bill is making progress in the House of Delegates, which is also controlled by Democrats. Lucas, who took questions from reporters Monday morning along with Senate Leader Scott Surovell, said Republican Governor Youngkin had made a series of mistakes in trying to advance the deal through a General Assembly now in full Democratic control after November's elections. Among them, she said, was a weekend speech at Washington and Lee University in which Youngkin took a broad swipe at Democrats collectively, saying the party does not believe in, nor do they want, a strong America. Lucas and Surovell also said legislators were not brought into the conversation about the deal early enough and questioned why it was put up for a vote before a Legislative Economic Development Commission that reviews proposed incentives just before outgoing lawmakers cycled off that panel. Surovell said his caucus has concerns about whether the governor is truly willing to consider their priorities, including legislation to establish recreational cannabis sales and further increase the minimum wage, in negotiations over the legislation. Lucas is also seeking toll relief for the Hampton Roads region. File. Senator Louise Lucas celebrates her win for Virginia's 18th District State Senate Democratic nomination at Bidewee Golf Course in Portsmouth, Virginia, on Tuesday, June 20, 2023. A leading Democratic Virginia legislator says proposed legislation to help pave the way for the NBA's Washington Wizards and NHL's Washington Capitals to relocate to Northern Virginia is dead. Senator L. Louise Lucas holds great sway in the General Assembly as chair of the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee. She told reporters Monday morning, February 12, 2024, that Republican Governor Youngkin had made a series of mistakes in trying to advance the deal through a General Assembly now in full Democratic control after November's elections. Kendall Warner, the Virginian pilot via AP, file. Asked if the deal was dead, Lucas responded bluntly, "As far as I'm concerned, it is." Lucas was asked if changes to the House version of the bill, which will cross over to the Senate for consideration assuming it clears a floor vote, could make the proposal palatable. She answered by saying she had a strenuous objection to the project financing as currently envisioned because of its use of moral obligation bonds backed by the state and the city of Alexandria to backstop about a third of the financing. That means taxpayers could be on the hook if the project revenues don't come through as expected. As long as the full faith and credit of this Commonwealth is backing this project, my answer continues to be an absolute no, she said. Rob Damshin, communications director for Youngkin, said in a statement that the governor remains confident that the Assembly will come together because this project is good for the entire Commonwealth. It creates 30,000 jobs and unlocks billions in new revenue that can be used to fund expanded toll relief in Portsmouth, increased funding for I-81, and new money for education for rural and urban school divisions across the Commonwealth, Damshin said. Senate Republicans criticized Lucas's refusal to put the bill up for a committee vote, characterizing the move as a pocket veto of the governor's priority. The only plausible explanation for this move is that there were not enough votes in the Senate Finance Committee to defeat the bill, Sen. Mark Aubenshine of Rockingham said. This departure from the traditions of the Senate is unfortunate and clearly indicates a deep division among Senate Democrats. Youngkin and entrepreneur Ted Leonsis, an ultra-wealthy former AOL executive and the CEO of the team's parent company, Monumental Sports and Entertainment, announced in December that they had reached an understanding on a deal to relocate the Capitals and Wizards. The proposed new site in Alexandria would be just miles from where the teams currently play in Washington. The legislation currently pending before the Assembly would set up a sports and entertainment authority that would issue the bonds that will help pay for the project. The bonds would be repaid through a mix of revenues from the arena and broader development surrounding it, including a ticket tax, parking fees, concession taxes, income taxes levied on athletes performing at the arena, and naming rights from the district, among other sources. Monica Dixon, a top executive at Monumental, said in a written statement Monday that the company is having healthy discussions with General Assembly leaders and Alexandria City Council members, who will also need to sign off on the deal. Dixon said the company is encouraged by Friday's vote in a House committee, where the bill passed 17-3. This project will deliver tremendous benefits for the city of Alexandria and the entire Commonwealth of Virginia, including tens of thousands of new jobs and billions in revenue and economic impact, Dixon said. File. Ted Leonsis, left, owner of the Washington Wizards NBA basketball team and the Washington Capitals NHL hockey team, shakes hands with Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin as they announce plans for a new sports stadium for the teams, December 13, 2023, in Alexandria, Virginia. Legislation underpinning a plan to relocate the Wizards and the Capitals across the Potomac River to Northern Virginia easily cleared an early hurdle in the state legislature, Friday, February 9, 2024. AP photo. Alex Brandon, file. The Virginia Capitol is seen, March 4, 2010, in Richmond, Virginia. A Democrat-controlled committee in the Virginia Senate voted Tuesday, January 30, 2024, against approving Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin's pick to lead the state's parole board, Patricia West. AP photo. Steve Helber, file. Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin speaks to announce plans for a new sports stadium for the Washington Wizards NBA basketball team and Washington Capitals NHL hockey team, at an event, Wednesday, December 13, 2023, in Alexandria, Virginia. A leading Democratic Virginia legislator says proposed legislation to help pave the way for the NBA's Washington Wizards and NHL's Washington Capitals to relocate to Northern Virginia is dead. Senator L. Louise Lucas holds great sway in the General Assembly as chair of the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee. She told reporters Monday morning, February 12, 2024, that Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin had made a series of mistakes in trying to advance the deal through a General Assembly now in full Democratic control after November's elections. AP photo. Alex Brandon, file. Ted Leonsis, owner of the Washington Wizards NBA basketball team and Washington Capitals NHL hockey team, speaks during an event with Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin, seated left, to announce plans for a new sports stadium for the teams, Wednesday, December 13, 2023, in Alexandria, Virginia. A leading Democratic Virginia legislator says proposed legislation to help pave the way for the NBA's Washington Wizards and NHL's Washington Capitals to relocate to Northern Virginia is dead. Senator L. Louise Lucas holds great sway in the General Assembly as chair of the Senate Finance and Appropriations Committee. She told reporters Monday morning, February 12, 2024, that Republican Governor Glenn Youngkin had made a series of mistakes in trying to advance the deal through a General Assembly now in full Democratic control after November's elections. AP photo. Alex Brandon, file.